No, I will analyze I will look at the chat anyway at the end of it.
Okay.
I will analyze I will look at the chat anyway at the end of it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful edition of Body Mind Practices to Enhance Resilience and Immunity. We have a wonderful set of practices and a very cool approach today. So before we start it off and I kick it off to Dr. Bakshi, a couple of quick points. If you have any issues with your audio or video, make sure you send me a message on your chat box, and I'll do my very best to help you out and assist you in that regard. Also, we'll have a session. We'll have an opportunity to share some feedback and some responses to some questions to chat box in the chat box. Please, engage with us, and we would love to hear your thoughts in this regard. So, without further ado, over to you, Dr. Bakshi.
Thank you very much, Maulik, and welcome everyone. Today we're going to get into something very different and something very interesting. And that is, I want to call it as, what is mindful practice? What is mindful practice and what the benefit that we want to get? Now, when you say mindful, mindful of what? Mindful of mindfulness, mindful of bodyfulness, mindful of spiritfulness. What are we mindful about? What do you want to gain out of today's practice? It's a very important point in any practice that we go through. And so what I would like to do is I'd like to open out the session with a question. There are two-part questions. And what I'd like you to do is I will spend a little bit of time thinking about this today, and whatever comes in the top of your heart immediately is how you'll answer these two questions. And I would like that to be in the chat box by everyone present, no exceptions, because this is how we will generate our coaching practice. Not coaching, but the today's practice. Now, this one question is very interesting. What do you love most in life today? What do you love most in life today? To do, to have, to create. Something to do, to have, to create. It may be just one word, it may be two words, it may be, but just put that in the chat box. What do you, and this is just you addressed to you today, what do you love, topmost love in your life today? And the reason for writing this is that today you will learn how to create your script. Just show me hands, but let me see. Let me put it on the gallery view so I can put it. Show me your hands up. How many of you would like to learn? How many of you would know how to create a script of practice, or do you do the script when you practice? Show of hands, please. Okay, I see a few hands. That's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to help you create a little bit something today with the practices today, so that will be your something for you to take home and continue practicing. So keep that in the center of your mind, what you love most in life today. Okay, now the next question is, what do you fear most? What do you fear most? And please be as specific as you can, because if you say that I love the whole world, I understand that. But let's be more specific, because if you're going to ask you a question, what do you want to do today? I love to eat. I love to, see a movie. Let's be very specific, because if it's too much expansion, too much, we don't really accomplish anything. And this is the whole idea in what Qigong is. Qigong is where the energies are focused into one direction and one point. And yes, you can get a general benefit of general, oh, I feel good about the practice. Overall, I feel elated and all that stuff. That's great. But I just want to make sure that we also address something that's very specific by these practices. And this is the reason why it becomes very powerful. So what do you fear the most? Just write one thing down. Now, as we know, when we practice these things, we create an energy field within ourselves. You already have your love and your fear. Today, in your practice, you will say things to yourself as we practice. I will continue my own. I'll give you the practice scripts for myself. But as you practice, focus on a personal word that is there. Maybe whatever that word is there, just that is the word you're going to focus on. And you're going to only talk about the love and the fear. Only two emotions we're taking today. We can take more, but love and fear. And so on that note, what I would request Maulik, please finish everything, okay? And we're going to start. And by the time we finish this video, you will be able to, you can do more if it come up with, but be specific so that you get specific help out of this. So Maulik, please, thank you very much for putting the video on.
One moment.
You to the world, which allows you to bring in the joy, the energy, and the happiness. Fear closes you down. Love enhances energy. Fear shuts the energy down.
Yeah.
Can you?
I'd like to talk to you about what is called the honeymoon effect. But to understand that first,
1 second. We're having some challenges with the share here.
From the conscious mind, the one with the wishes and desires and aspirations.
Okay. Can you guys see the window?
Yes.
Okay. How about now?
Can see it, but it's not. Is it working? It's not on, is it?
No, I'm not started. I just want to make sure because there were some issues.
I can see I can see the window. This is how powerful love can be.
You to the world, which allows you to bring
Good.
in the joy, the energy, and the happiness. Fear closes you down.
You can see him.
It's energy. Fear shuts the energy down. I'd like to talk to you about what is called the honeymoon effect. But to understand that, first we just have to simply say that only 5% of your life is coming from the conscious mind, the one with the wishes and desires and aspirations, the life that you would love to lead. 95%.
I'm sorry?
Not seeing it, not seeing the video.
I have it on full screen.
It is still is what it is. The beginning, it's not running on this one.
Life comes from the subconscious.
Just 1 second. We'll have to try this method because Zoom's not exactly cooperating right now. Yeah, if I do full screen, for some reason, Zoom's not cooperating. So I'm just going to do the expanded window.
Okay.
And go with that for now.
Which allows you to bring in the joy, the energy, and the happiness. Fear closes you down. Love enhances energy. Fear shuts the energy down. I'd like to talk to you about what is called the honeymoon effect. But to understand that, first we just have to simply say that only 5% of your life is coming from the conscious mind, the one with the wishes and desires and aspirations, the life that you would love to lead. 95% of our life comes from the subconscious habits that primarily were acquired by observing other people. So 95% of the day, you're not necessarily moving toward that wish of heaven on earth. And I say, but what happens when we fall in love? And the answer is, all of a sudden, in 24 hours, your life can radically change. Your life could be blah, 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 every day of your life until one day a change occurs. And in this case, I'll use, you meet someone that you fall in love with. And I say, what is the consequence of falling in love? Well, in a regular day, 5% of our life is created by the conscious mind, and thinking sends the conscious mind back into the inside of the head, which then makes the subconscious mind the driver of our life 95% of the day with its negative behaviors. But when you fall in love, guess what? You stop thinking. You stay mindful. What does that mean? That means, look, you've been looking for this person your whole life, and now they're in front of you. Why would you be thinking? You would be present and taking it in and living the moment that you can. Well, guess what? If you stop thinking, then the conscious mind is not working just 5% of the day, it's working over 90% of the day. And all of a sudden it said, well, now I'm creating my life from wishes and desires, not from the limiting programs in the subconscious mind. So falling in love is an opportunity to get out of the program. Well, first of all, let me just emphasize this. Falling in love is not just romance love. Falling in love is something that just takes your heart and opens it up. You can be a gardener and put your hands in the dirt, and that makes you feel so good and so healthy. That's a form of love. You can be a cook in a kitchen, creating wonderful recipes, and in that process, enjoying it so much that you stay present while you're cooking. And guess what? You're not reverting to your subconscious program. So the honeymoon effect does not necessarily mean just romance with a person. It could be happiness with your pet. It could be the gardening or the cooking, artwork, anything that you do that enhances your being here now rather than going back and operating from subconscious beliefs. The relevance of the honeymoon effect is love. Again, whether it's love for an individual or something that you're working on, why is that so vital for us? And the answer is profoundly important, because love represents harmony between you and the environment in which you're living. And in harmony enhances your vitality, because the energy of that is feeding you to be healthier and happier. In contrast to an experience of love, the opposite would be fear. And I say, what's the relevant difference between that? And the answer is, love enhances your vitality and your energy. Fear closes you down. When you're in protection, you wall yourself off from the world around you. That's what protection is all about. So love opens you to the world, which allows you to bring in the joy, the energy, and the happiness. Fear closes you down while you think you're protecting yourself from any threats from the outside coming in. Love enhances energy. Fear shuts the energy down. And therefore, love enhances vitality because life is energy. Fear compromises vitality because fear is just the opposite. It shuts down your energy. So the honeymoon effect is really a recognition of what? Getting out of the negative programs, operating from wishes and desires, filling your body's blood with the chemistry that enhances epigenetics, which enhances your health, and makes life the joy that we love. So when you're in love, life is wonderful and beautiful. When you're in fear, you're shut down and afraid. So the difference is why love is so important in our world, because life is driven by love, the energy of love. And in contrast, fear will shorten your life. The energy and chemistry of fear is actually the cause of almost all illness on this planet. So you need a simpler answer than the fact that love enhances your vitality, your energy, and your health, as compared to fear, which shuts down your vitality, your energy, and causes disease. It's all a matter of the interpretation of the mind being translated into chemistry that makes a complement of the body. The body in love, vital. The body in fear, threatened. And all of a sudden you see why we seek love. It's a built-in mechanism to enhance our life experience on this planet.
Thank you. Thank you, Maulik. And I know it was a technical challenge. I gave him the last minute, but appreciate the fact that all of you have now identified for today's practice what you're going to focus on. What we're going to focus on: love. What is the love inside you? So as we move through the practice today, you'll be focusing on that. You'd also want to, as Bruce said, the removal of the negative thinking or the pattern. That's what we do with Tai Chi and Qigong. But the difference is this: for today, as we practice together, we'll go through some of the very common things that we do all the time, the same practices that we've been doing. But there will be a little bit change today. The change will be, you will be saying to yourself, I will of course say what I would continue to say, but you use those, your own words, your own, connect with your own self deeper into the heart and get, like he said, subconscious and conscious. So we're just going to do that. So let's get started. The practice itself. So if you are sitting, you can be sitting. If you're standing, just stand, and let's have the 3 alignments. And the alignments, I'm aligning myself today. I'm grounding my feet. They are touching the floor and into the earth, so that whatever I do not need in terms of, I've identified my fear, and I'll let it sink in to the earth. I'm going to release that down to the earth. Let it all drain deep into the earth crust. It is leaving me now. As the earth is giving me more of what I want in this today's, love is what I need. And what love? If it's a love for something I do, if it's a love for something I create, if it's love for some people, my friends, my family, my children, my grandchildren, nature, whatever is the love that you have, I have today, I'm going to get that particular subject and I'm going to have that focus to just come that love into my body from the feet. As I'm thinking about that particular love, the nature, the children, the family, that's all entering every cell in my body today. Every cell in my body recognizes that that's what I am vibrating with today. And it's traveling up into my lower dantian, the powerhouse, the triple burner. And I'm going to store all that love here. This is the focus with which I'm going to work today. I'm going to ascend that into the heart-mind area. Fill the heart-mind with that. And then coming up under the third eye, I'm deciding now that that would be my path for today. I'm inhaling, adjusting my breath. What am I inhaling? I'm inhaling the love around me, the acceptance around me. As I move around in the world today, just for today, my focus is going to be take in that vitality, take in the energy, all the positive energy. And when I exhale, I'm going to let out the fear I have. I'm going to let it out to the world. It doesn't belong into me. And as I work with it today, I will harmonize the two. And as I harmonize, I'll be very focused. What's happening? A few minutes of this focus makes me feel different. What else is coming up at this point? Am I filling up with what I need from the yang? If I'm going to do something, I'm going to move something, how am I going to love? How I'm going to express love? I can get it from the yin. And I can get some words how I'm going to talk to people about my love. Or if I'm going to do something with nature, how am I going to express today? That expression comes from both combination of the heart and the mind for me. What is the specific action step that I'm going to do today so that I'm expressing my love? What is the strength that I'm gathering from the yin and the yang that removes the fear I have? There may be fear of just getting sick, getting completely removed from this world just by disease, fear of dying. What's happening to that as I love more? Can I release that down, going down to the earth? Not focusing on it, focusing on the love. As my conscious mind works on my subconscious mind, that's what's going to happen for today. I'm going to gather whatever I need to gather. Gather information about people. I'll be open to look into people's lives. I'll be open because the love has to be expressed. Whatever negative I have in my heart, I'm going to release. If I don't release the negatives, I cannot love. Gather some more from people surrounding whatever love I have, store it. But whatever negative I have, remove it. I have a situation where I say, I don't know how to do this. That's my negative thoughts. I'm going to gather some more information on it so that it will add to my strength. Gathering is helpful, but releasing is equally helpful. Because if I continue to store only, I'll be full of both pluses and minuses. I have to balance the two. That is Tai Chi. If I'm balanced, but more importantly, if I am the driver of myself, I'm the driver as a conscious mind. Yes, I can lead my subconscious mind. He's my chauffeur. I have to tell the chauffeur what to do today. Is that my direction today towards love and away from fear? Let me gather some more from the earth and the heavens. This is my central thought today. How will I do this? What exactly I will do today? Do I have a plan for that? Will it be different than what I've been doing before? My family knows I love them. What have I told them, or how have I done lately to show them that? What's one thing that they will all appreciate? How about what I want to create? What's something that I can create today that will empower me, energize me, to live a life of love and remove the fear, just for today. You think about that. Take a nice breath in, get a sigh of relief. Let go of what you do not want. There may be fear. Let go. Last time. I'm going to shake myself up, move around what I have. The energy-wise, I'm feeling full. I'm feeling completely empowered. And I'm shaking off what I don't need. To shake off, I'm doing my way. You can do the way you feel best. It's your practice today. And then I'm going to just rub myself off a little bit. I feel I love myself so that I can love others. If I'm intact here, I can offer. If I'm not intact, I will have difficulties. So I'm going to just go through with loving kindness towards me, towards my body, every area of my body, to get ready for today. Move around all these channels so that all the channels are working really well. Some areas are easier for me. Some areas are taking a little time. But I feel good about this. This is waking up to the world of love that I have for whatever that is. Is it going to be the honeymoon effect? Yes. At that time, my thinking brain will stop. I will start feeling. I'll actually get the heart into the head or head into the heart. Balance the two. But more importantly, it will be the love that's going to take over the driver's seat for me. And as I do it, removing the stresses out of my body, I can really feel knots here. I can feel a little soreness. I'm going to take care of that so that I'm fully functional. As I finish my practices today, I will be able to do what I want to do. I want to experience what I want to experience. I want to express what I want to express. All that will be really possible for me. I'm just doing it my way. Everyone has a different way of doing it. I follow the instinct of my body. If I feel like scratching, I'll do that. But I'm thinking about, at the same time, thinking about the spleen. And that's going to give me some more red cells. It's a storage of red cells and more oxygen. Liver with metabolism. So I'm aligning myself completely for today. I'm inhaling, relaxing. Spending some time with myself, awakened, relaxed, feel energized. Being mindful about my own mind. How does the mind feel to me today? Being mindful about the body. How does the body feel right now? Some more stuff came up as I was loving and massaging and all. I'm going to squeeze it out. I'm going to squeeze and let it go. It's all over around here. So I'm going to squeeze everything, and I really want to make sure that nothing is remaining in my body that is fear. Express it tightly, making a tight face, and express all the fear and all the negatives out of myself. Put the chin to the chest and express the neck part of it, and go down a little bit further. And then relax. I'm squeezing out what I don't want. It's a specific thing that I don't want today. It's not the general thing. It's one area that I'm afraid of. He's going to go out, and I was afraid of somebody passing by, and I have a mask. No, but the guy is not wearing a mask. I'm afraid. They tell me 2 days later, I may have a scratchy throat. I'm afraid of that. Let me get that fear out of me. I will build a little bit more immunity in order to handle that. That's my love for my own self. I do have to take care of myself because I love myself. Squeeze as much as possible, all the way down the belly, legs, and squeeze into the earth. That fear, the whole world is gripped with it now. Everybody has gone spiritual. It's great to be spiritual, but I'm still alive. I'm still in my body. I'm still in my mind. I have to feel the balance, the peace, and the harmony. I just heard Bruce say that, harmony. What's harmony? Harmony means nothing is taking over. Not too much of this, not too much of that. That is harmony. And this and that can balance themselves. My body and my mind is not the war zone where it all happens. I'm not a battlefield. This is the experience I want. Share with you a practice that I'm going to introduce to you with a little bit of initial script. By this, so far, you've developed your own script. And some of the practices we did today, you've done them all the time. There are more that you've done, more you've learned. And if it has to do with balance, it has to do with any emotions that we're talking about. We have them every day. We have emotions every day. Write them down. And today will be a little different because we'll see how that goes. But the important thing is this, that there's one more technique that I'm going to share with you today. We've done the general tapping, but there's something called emotional freedom technique. Many of you have heard about that. And if you haven't heard, that's fine. But that basically means is that if you have a container with, let's say, nice, say, milk or something in it, and now the container is actually inside, it is stained, bad staining. You wouldn't really like that milk in it, you know. So you can empty that out and look at the container and say, gee, this is stained. This is something bad stuck to the wall. Well, you can rinse it. And after rinsing, you can put the milk back again. The problem is, if it's not completely clean, the surface is not clean, that's not going to be good. So thinking only positive, feeling only positive, practicing only positive like this, without letting go of the negative, without removing the negative, will not clean the inside of our mind and the subconscious. The subconscious is like a computer. When you have hard drive, there's a virus that gets in. Again, it's a virus. Sorry to use that, but virus that gets in. That hard drive has to be sent out to the company to remove it. There's no program like the software program that overrides the virus or anything like that. So you have to remove it from inside the body of that computer, the hard drive. It's the same story. So if we can continuously repeat the stuff that we continuously do without working on what is inside deep in our subconscious mind or what our experience has been in the past, it will not work because it's just like the container that I was talking about. You have to scrub it and remove it, and so that the original container is now very clean. How do we do that? And this is where the emotions and all the negatives that have been stored within our deep brain, they have to be addressed. And so I'm going to introduce just the initial part of it. The tapping is called emotional freedom technique. We have lots of emotions, and we dealt with two of them, love and fear. And we need to at least address the negative part ourselves to say, well, I have this negative, I want to help myself doing that. So this is a practice. And the easy part about that is I'm going to introduce only one part of it today. There's a little bit more about understanding and how it works. But I'm going to introduce a part of it today and a little bit of a script, just a small script. This area is, this is the area where the heart mind comes, heart and circulation. This is the area, it starts from here. So we also call that karate chop point, the karate chop. These 2 points, we tap, either tap, let's say one hand and tap like this. Either hand is fine, tapping like this. When we tap, we know very well that we are opening up the channels. And it's much more like when you have an iron file and there is a magnet there sitting on a table. It's a certain pattern, but when you tap on the table, the filings get a little bit different and it lines up in a particular manner. Much more like the kaleidoscope, the kaleidoscope, when you move that, the patterns changes. Same way the pattern changes when you do this. An emotional pattern, negative thoughts or whatever thoughts, conducting all these things through the meridians or channels. And interestingly, it also addresses the genetics, genes as well. There's a lot more new information on this. But tap like this gently, and we're setting ourselves up for whatever we want to work on. So let's say fear of something, whatever is the fear of falling, fear of water, fear of heights. I have a fear of, let's say I'm just going to work with fear of falling. Easy one, simple one. So take one. Yeah, I have a fear of falling. Okay, and you can use your words if you want to, and you can. So the word, the actual script goes very simple. That I have a fear of falling. That may be true. I have a fear of falling. And you can also do it with two hands like this. Either one, it's okay. And just tapping gently. It does not have to be fast. Just a gentle tapping. Okay. So the sentence is like this. That I do have the two sentences to be combined. I do have fear of falling. We know that's why we are going to work on this. The second sentence is, I love myself. I accept myself deeply. Now, everybody knows that, we want to be safe. We want to be protected. We want to accept ourselves. We want to survive. We want to live. We want to thrive, healthy, all that. So all these things are inherent in your loving yourself. That's the reason why you want to survive, that you're loving yourself. So the idea is you love yourself, you accept yourself, and that's deeply and without any conditions. I mean, is there any condition in loving yourself? I would only love myself if, usually not. Usually you love myself, I love myself. Now, there may be some situations differently, but most of the time you say, I love myself. So I love and accept myself. So the two sentences are, one is I have a fear, and the second is I love myself and accept myself. So we just connect the two, raise your tap. So the sentence goes, even though I have fear of falling, even though I fear of falling, I still love myself. The fear of falling is away from it. I mean, I would love myself and I accept myself deeply and unconditionally. So these are the two sentences. So when you work with this, your fear starts coming out of the system because you're now knocking these things out of the deep subconscious. And just work with that to begin that. We're going to get into more EFT and more details about doing this. I just wanted to introduce a little bit of aspect about working with fears, working with negativities, and how we can move forward by cleaning that container, by taking the negatives out of the hard drive, and so on and so forth. That's basically why I wanted to introduce this to you today. And now what we'll do is we'll do a small meditation at this point, and I'll have a seat. Whatever you have worked with it today, we'll have a music on. Sit in the alignment position or stand and think about what happened today. What are the various things that you got out of today's practice? That's your meditation. It'll last only a minute or two. And after that, we will have exchange of feedback. I'll request Maulik to start the music.
Assuming Daniel's tools are going to help you.
Malik, start waking up. Start coming back from the journey that all of us had. Before I turn over to Maulik for the feedback, I have a request for everybody to carry these practices in a way that benefits you the most. You are the main person involved for yourself. And as more specific can you be about these emotions for yourself, the easier and better it would be. Because when we go to the doctor, we really want a specific medication. If it is malaria, then you want malaria pills. You don't want flu pills. That's the same thing exactly happens with the mind and the emotions. The clearer you are, instead of the general, a lot of times we are very general about it. But that's the only thing, and I would like you to start working on it so that you get the most benefit. Thank you. Over to Maulik.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bakshi. Just wanted to, there's a whole bunch of thoughts that everybody's written. So I'll, in terms of what they love and what they fear. So this is something that everybody can read. Dr. Bakshi, if you would like to highlight any specific ones or talk about that, we can definitely do that in this regard. But in the meantime, just want to pass it on to everyone to share your thoughts, feedback, and anything that you gain from this particular session or otherwise. That would be fantastic. So over to all of you. So maybe I see Mr. Jagdish Butcher's hand up. If you want to say something, please do share.
Hey, good evening and greetings, everyone. Hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
It's been always wonderful to be here without missing most of the time. In specific, I want to thank Dr. Bakshi for showing a daily practice. And let me admit here that I started the backward walking practice first time. In fact, I never knew there is something called backward walking. And an amazing feeling has already started coming in just about 4 or 5 days. And I'm already feeling the difference in the body.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Another thing I have started very regularly every morning before I'm out of the bed is start waking up my body parts. Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Bakshi.
You're welcome, Jagdish bhai, for the nice feedback. And Jagdish is in India, in Ahmedabad.
I'm from Ahmedabad, India, and I was fortunate to be introduced to this session. And I really thank God and all of you for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome, Jagdish bhai. Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Viraj from Pittsburgh. Kailan Bakshi and Maulik Bakshi. Today's practice was good with the hand movements and tapping and heart and mind and love. Love and all that and trying to get the negatives out. I really liked it. It will help me. So thank you, Bakshi people, Kailan and Maulik Bakshi, for today's practice and everything. It was good. Viraj from Pittsburgh. Thanks, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you, Viraj. Appreciate your comments as usual. And you inspire us, everybody. Thank you.
Welcome, Uncle.
Thank you, Kalin bhai. This was a wonderful self-love introspection and working on negative reduction of the negatives. It was a wonderful way of combining the mechanics with the mindfulness, which is I loved it. One comment to Jagdish bhai is just an observation that I wanted to share with you. You know, when we normally start walking and in a core walk, we inhale. As we move forward, we have inhale, exhale, that cycle. I tried this out a little differently. I tried backwards, but start with the exhale, inhale, just a pattern, but exhale and then hold. Okay, and then inhale, then hold. I found it to be very interesting observation on my part. I loved it. Of course, I had to do it on a flat ground, knowing exactly where I was going. But that again is a different technique. Just maybe Kalin bhai has some thought on that. But I at least tried that out, just an experiment.
Yeah.
But today's session was excellent. I appreciate it very much, and we would love to see more EFT. And I have a question along the lines: if Bruce Lipton has any video on EFT.
Well, he's a master. He's one of my teachers. I am an EFT practitioner, and I learned from him. And he's just amazing. Yes, absolutely. Yes, he has a lot of things on EFT. Just go to EFTuniverse.com.
Okay.
EFTuniverse.com. You get a lot of stuff out there. And Bruce Lipton is one of my teachers.
I'll request Dr. Bakshi to reflect on backward walking with exhale followed by inhale.
Yeah, well, actually, in reality, I'll tell you what it is. It is your experience. What is happening to you? That's more important.
Okay.
I may have an experience of inhaling one time, exhaling the other time. What are you inhaling? What are you exhaling?
Okay.
What backward walking is happening? Anytime you backward walking, people say all kinds of things. You say, well, move clockwise. But if you move counterclockwise, you get younger and younger.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of those interpretations that you get younger if you move the clock backwards. Well, it's your intention. You're powering your own conscious mind in a way to go to the subconscious, get things out. So it is your call, the way it works. The backward walking, the reason for my introducing that was mainly mechanics. Mechanics of that walking, it spends more energy, and that was the reason why I introduced it. But I'm
yes, it is beneficial.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are experimenting with it. That's exactly what we want you guys to do. The work with it,
Absolutely.
experiment, all these different things combined. I'm very proud of what you're doing, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Wonderful. We have some comments here that I'll just share from Mr. Harisha. Very different mind over matter. Thanks, Dr. Bakshi. Strag Gerlach, thank you. From excuse me, from Mr.
Bless
Chandrakant
you.
Pujara. This session was very spiritual and psychologically lifting. Thank you. And as Mr. Jagdish Bush just said, great learning today. Unless I empty negatives, positives will not settle inside. So those are some wonderful comments, and thank you for sharing your feedback. Unless there's anything else, Dr. Bakshi, we can wrap it up. Would that be
Yeah,
appropriate?
I'm done. I think, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I know it was different, but
Yeah, it was today.
but we need to every once in a while, I will say this, okay?
Okay.
Be focused in yourself. That's all. Be focused in yourself, and you're the one who you're trying to help. That's it.
My take home message.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just do that, and whatever your mind and body, and I said this before,
True,
but
Kailan
I'm
Bakshi.
going to repeat that one more time, and that is, people use this phrase mindfulness, but we don't know what we are mindful of. Very important part here. Are we mindful of our own mind? Are we mindful of our own body? Are we mindful of our own spirit? When that happens in our yogic philosophy, we call this a witness mind. In Western world, we call it witness mind. In yogic philosophy, it's called Raja Yoga. That's a typical Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga means one is an observer mind or a witness mind. How well can you develop your witness mind? Take home message. See you guys. See you Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bakshi people.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj.
All right,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you, everyone.